fetishizing kind of plays a role in, I don't know if it would be like racism in the gay community, but do you ever feel like people fetishize based on race?
Of course.
Within our community.
Oh, 100%.
And the weird thing is like, I kind of battle with that a little bit because I tend to be, obviously, we talked about this on the last one, Brian.
Yeah.
The guys that I tend to be attracted to or I date, they tend to be black guys. And I started asking myself after we had that conversation on our video before, was like, am I fetishizing? Like, is that what I'm doing? So I started thinking about, I was like, what draws me to black men?
What does?
But here's the thing: is when I say it, am I being like, okay? One of the main things that draws me to black men is I feel like black men tend to have a level of confidence that is like. They tend to be yes, the way they carry themselves, and it's very attractive to me.
But that's a stereotype too. You know, it all goes back.
Is that a stereotype itself? Like,
not all. You are two black men. Do you think as black men that you're automatically more confident?
Well, no. I mean, everyone is different. I don't feel like you're
I don't think you.
Yeah,
I don't think it is.
No, if I ask that question to someone and you say, "Oh, I feel like black men tend to be more confident," I would kind of look at you like, "Oh, okay." It's not necessarily a fetish. That's not a fetish.
No,
but it is like
that's
there's other races that what specifically is it that black?
But maybe it's not just the fact that I find that a lot of
because there
black
has to
men
be
that come
something
across
aesthetic.
Yeah, no, like. Obviously, I do love their physical features. I love dark skin.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You have a very loose butthole, so
I'm
you need as
fucking
big
done
of a
with you
penis
right
as
now,
you can
bitch.
possibly
I'm done with
get.
you.
No,
but even that statement.
I know exactly. It's all the fetishism of it.
No, it's different things. Like I do like the physical appearance of it. A lot of black guys. I like darker skin. I like those darker eyes. I like those features.
But you wouldn't say I only date black
no,
men.
not only. I mean, that's what I tend to lean towards. You know, like, and I'm not saying that I would never date a white person or never date a Mexican.
And that's the difference. And that's the difference. The fact that
I'm just saying that I tend to be drawn to them, and I think it plays into other things. Like, also, like I sing. I'm a musician, and a lot of the musicians that I look up to tend to be black.
There you go.
So,
That's where the racism comes in.
I was about to say
that's not racist. Like, really, like that's what I'm drawn
I
to.
like music. Like,
it doesn't sound racist.
No, like particularly the
racist.
genres of music that I like.
Stereotyping, maybe.
The genres of music, but I mean, let's be real.
Also
Black
music.
people if they founded R&B music, blues music,
But there's also like punk.
theirs. The fact that they created that, like that's theirs, and I'm drawn to it. I appreciate the art of it. It doesn't come from a place of me like thinking, oh, only black people sing R&B music or only black people. I think we all know that black people found that genre of music. That was theirs.
It's wrong when you say. The type of music you like, which is more soulful music, right? If you meet a black person, you just automatically say, "You can sing, huh?"
No, I don't say that though.
Yeah,
because I've met plenty of black people who cannot sing.
Huh? When you first met me, you said, "Bro, I bet you can sing, huh?"
I did not say that to
maybe
you.
You did. Uh-oh.
Did I say that? What? Because you told me you were in the choir.
I was in the choir.
So I was like, "Can you sing?"
No, you said, "Brian, I bet you can really sing."
No, I did not say that.
Roll the footage, roll the tape.
When I said that, I don't think you told me that you were in the choir.
I
when we were talking about. I was like, "Oh, so you sing?"
No.
Either way,
I don't say that.
I don't think it's coming from a fetish.
Yeah, I don't either.
Knowing you're not that type of person. You're not a fetishizing type of person. A person who fetishizes a person of color will be a person who says, "Oh, I love big black," or
if you're like a white man necessarily, and you focus so
Like
much
I was
on
saying.
their race as a factor in why you're attracted to them.
Right.
If you sleep with a black guy, are you necessarily like, "Oh, swing that big black dick over here, my strong African guy"? Like, are you
that's triggering? That's triggering me.
Well, that okay,
No,
but I'm
give
just
you an
saying
example
that's
of
more of
what
a
the
fetish.
people say. Yeah.
Fetish.
What do you? You're so quiet right now. See, this is awkward because I never know what I'm saying is coming out of my mouth because people take shit. So like that's like somebody like looking at me. Oh, you're Mexican. You must fucking cook beans real fucking good. Like that is the same fucking thing.
Out, which is what I do. I never remain quiet. When it comes to that, I'm able to call on it if I look at your Instagram and the only people that you hang out with is black and the only people you date is black and everything. You're like going all Rachel.
I'm like,
okay, girl.
Right.
Or even like Get Out, where it was like every fucking picture was like. Then I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And let's talk about Get Out for a second, because
That's
very
perfect.
iconic
That ties in perfectly with what we're talking about.
Yes.
Because Get Out really hit it on the head, where the microaggressions of how sometimes even the liberals of people can be like a little bit racist, a little bit.
Yeah, like when you bring up conversation, like. Oh, I voted for Obama, or like I like R&B music.
Why is that the first thing you're saying to someone?
It shows that they really don't know how to interact with any black people.
But here's the thing, though. But I see like saying something like versus music, because I studied music. To the music that I listen to, I've studied the roots of it.
Okay.
Black people created that. That black people created that.
But
you don't have to defend
specifically talking.
No,
Right.
exactly.
You know what I
No,
mean?
yeah. But I'm saying like in general, like I tend like even when I was at MI, a lot of the guys like I dated a guy who was a singer and he happened to be black, and I was so drawn to the fact that he grew up in the church and he had this gospel voice, and I was like, shit, I wish I could do that shit. Like that's amazing. And it came from a place of like I was admiring it.
Right.
But then when you say it, some people take it like I don't know. I don't know.
No,
Where is the
I
line
don't think,
drawn?
and that's because you actually named like multiple things, so that's different.
It is different.
Yeah, it's
appreciating.
not necessarily. Yeah, it's not like one. Because I mean, the things that I've seen was just like, oh, are you black? Okay, what size are you? You know. It's
No,
like,
see, I don't do
you
that.
know,
Even on,
it's
I'll
just
tell you, I'll
like-
give you my tea on Grindr. I don't put on there that, oh, I love black guys, big black dicks to the front. No, I do not do that. And I don't even ask dudes
You
like,
just
oh,
tell
how
us
big
that.
is your dick? Like, no, I don't say that. Like, and I don't even think that I say, even jokingly, I don't think I've ever said, oh, I only fuck with black guys because they
We
have
joke
dicks.
with you like that.
They fuck
You
with you.
joke
I
with
get a
them.
lot of heat. I get a lot of
Because-
fucking jokes on me because I've been called names like Tar Baby. I've been called shit like
should
that.
repeat it.
I have been. No, I'm just
But,
saying.
but there are a lot of things
truth.
like that, right?
It is the truth.
But there's
And
guys
I-
that only date Asian people, or
Yeah,
have like a
yeah,
fetish
yeah.
about it. That could be straight or,
They call you
whatever.
Tar Baby.
I've been called that before, yes. Where is the line drawn then? That's what I want to know. Take the Grammy Awards, for example. People thought a lot of the choices that were made as far as people who won, Adele winning Album of the Year and all that stuff. Like, people thought that there was a lot of, that there was racial
Well, that's
things
a little
behind
different
it.
because when it comes to like, if you look at the history of the Grammy, when it comes to like rock and roll, when it comes to like, or even Adele winning, when it comes to like Blue Eyed Soul, it's like, yeah, then it goes back to what you said, like it's rooted in our culture, and when somebody else from outside the culture does it, then oh, okay, it's almost like they do it better and then they get the award even though we were the ones that created it.
So what, for us non-black people who are not black, what do we do? What is it that we're supposed to do in this
Regarding
situation? Regarding that, like okay, they don't like acknowledgement. Exactly.
Like
exactly.
Mac Miller did, even though he did it, behind the scenes, or like when Adele did it, even though she broke her Grammy in half, but it was like, it's acknowledgement, but it's also recognition. Yeah, Adele, she sings great. She's, she's good, but Beyonce had an HBO
Special,
release,
hour-long documentary.
empowering,
with
yeah,
that.
and it's like she does
video
all of
with
these
a
It was
Right.
very
things.
culturally relevant.
Yeah,
at
it
the
had
times.
it was a movement. It
Right.
spoke to issues that was going on. It
was more than just an
It was
album.
so
Yeah.
much layers behind that
Whereas
versus
just an album that was good,
And
she sang
then
it good.
also it was different genres. She
Mhm.
did
Yeah.
country,
Country,
she did
she
R&B,
did R&B,
she
she
did
did
hip
a
hop.
little bit
So
of pop.
it was just like, yeah. So it's stuff like that. As far as the black culture, it's in the Philippines. There's a place called Negro.
Oh, no.
So
Like,
and
if
then
you want
there's
to talk
black
about the
people
cultural
and the
appropriation,
Hispanic
Filipinos do it a
community.
lot. Filipinos do it a lot.
But
with
it's
black culture.
I'm saying like there's African roots in different
But
different
there's African
countries.
roots and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so that's the thing. It's not necessarily, and that's why I say it's really just white people.
Mhm.
So it's You know, I mean, and you're right. It is appropriation.
I would say it's just white people.
It is appropriation in different countries, but
I think it's more extreme with white people because white people made black people slaves in this country, and white people have always been ahead in this country, and we still live in a
systematic oppression.
It's more prevalent because white people are the majority. You know, the world has been a subject
in
of
the United States.
Yeah.
No, not in the United States. All over the world.
Asians,
not all over the world.
Asians are actually the majority.
Asians and Indians, there's way more of them.
But what I'm saying, colonialism has actually affected the whole entire world. So when I say white people don't really understand when they're being that way, you know, it's because they've always been the majority. You know, we're actually, for the first time in history, we're actually seeing where white people are saying, you know, with all the whole mass shootings and all that, well, why do you attribute that to the white race? It's because, and they're getting so upset about it, it's because they've never actually felt how it is to be grouped in with just one lone wolf, as they say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, where black people or Latinos or Asians, if one step out of line, that's a
black people
or
they're all right,
you know?
And it's been
It's
the
very
racist rhetoric of our country since we were founded.
Yeah. Going back to the whole racism in the gay community thing, I feel that mostly white gays are the ones who are the perpetrators of that, and then under that are others like, you know, Latino or Asian. Especially in LA, because for Latinos or Asians, you know, if you're white, that's the best thing ever, right? Mm-hmm. If you're white, you're great, you're awesome. You know, everyone attributes to whiteness to be
That's
great.
what the majority of everybody thinks?
Yes.
It's just weird to like relate to that because I don't think that.
Right.
Well, you know,
but that's the whole,
and that's fine, but you're not the
we're
world.
not supposed to.
No, I understand that, but it goes back to me saying, okay, I'm not black. Mm-hmm. I understand that I have never gone through what people of color, particularly black people, have gone through. I don't know what that is, but I want to understand and I want to learn about it.
Well, you will never understand. You just have to accept, empathize, and just move on. You will never understand how it feels to be.
No, but here's the thing: if I'm gonna be on the same battle lines with you guys and fighting for the same thing, I think that's a huge, like, I should be able to...
Empathy.
Yes,
empathy.
absolutely.
That's it,
but when I'm empathizing, I shouldn't be told to shut up when I'm trying to
Who's
understand
telling you to
it.
shut up?
No, nobody's telling me to shut up. I'm just saying that there's like this underlying tone of when somebody who is not black is trying to kind of defend black people, then it's kind of like shut up, like you don't know what you're talking about.
I understand what he's saying.
You don't understand. You can understand that more than you.
Right.
I'm speaking for him.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I do understand that because a lot of times we talk about race and things on our show, and I'm always going to tell my truth and my opinion on it. But you know, sometimes it is. I don't want to say the wrong thing, or I don't want to offend anybody, or you know. So you do have to be on eggshells. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a little bit sensitive in how you talk about a situation if you don't feel like you can talk about it as fully as another person. But I understand what you're saying as far as it being a double-edged sword sometimes. Like, oh, the white savior. Like, you know, Meryl Streep or whatever. You know, oh, well, we need some white lady standing up and saying
or
this for all of us.
Or it was like a white savior type of thing.
Right, exactly. So there is that damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I feel like if you're coming from a genuine, informed, real place, and not as a preachy, I'm a rich white person telling you, you know, people can pick up on that. I think you can tell if someone's genuinely believes.
There's also a frustration when you have someone, because, you know, we all obviously, you know, are for Black Lives Matter, and there's also a little frustration when you have someone saying, wait, that's not your fight. So it's just like, wait, do we speak up about it? Do we not? So it's almost like...
I've never really heard, like, people are saying, like,
it happens a lot. It happens a lot for people who are not black. It happens a lot.
Sure.
It does,
like, especially like online.
Wait, so black people are saying like this isn't your fight, no help?
Oh, absolutely! I've seen comments like that all over social media. It's like we're damned, particularly with white people. It's like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Right.
And that's where I think the wanting to understand it and educate us. Okay, so you want us to see what it is that you have gone through and. That's what, all the people who want to see it and are willing to learn and get educated and understand why this is a human fight. It's for humans, you know what I mean? And then when they try to do that, there's like this underlying tone of like, get the fuck out of here. This isn't your fight. You don't know what it is.
You know what that is? What he's saying is when whites come to the defense of blacks, there's a little bit of pushback from blacks saying, you know, what do you have? Don't get
I mean, I think I need more of a deeper example. I mean, so for example, you have people like the Women's March, And then, yeah, there were black people that I know that did not want to join in it, but that was because we've had, like, women's march, like the Black Million March. Like,
well, we talked about that too.
And that was the thing. It was like, okay, now that you all are affected by it, now you want to go in. So I get that, but I don't understand.
An entire, just because, like, oh, now you want to be part of it. Oh, and now I'm not going to go. Demarginalize an entire, like, the march because...
Well, that's kind of actually where I stand back, because I understand both perspectives. Yeah. So if you feel that you don't want to be a part of some type of movement, I mean, that's your right. Yeah, and I get it only because it's true. Like, yeah, I understand that there was this march or there was this situation, and now... You know, when it was affecting when it was affecting black people, you know, and we needed to galvanize, it wasn't happening. But now that you're being treated like a black person,
well, I think,
you know, then it's like
an issue. I just saying at earlier show, I said the same thing.
Yep.
The fact that you are now being recognized as what we have been seen as this whole time, now you want to weep and wail. It doesn't matter if it looks like we're not coming to your defense. There's always going to be some of us coming to your defense. Just because all of us aren't on board with it, we're on board with it. As you can see with the Women's March, there were black people out there saying the same thing. And also saying, where were y'all during Black Lives Matter? You know?
Well, I mean, that's the same thing with
but there were white people. I mean, not on a whole, maybe. But
it's
white people.
It depends on the person. I'm not that type of person. Like, I'm like, you know what?
But it's fair to raise the question. Where were you?
Because the people who put together the Women's March, majority of them would have never shown up to the Black Lives Matter movement.
And that's a good point that you made about that.
You know, two wrongs don't make a right. Is what I feel like what you're trying to say.
Right, and that's what I agree with too.
And a lot of them that are at that march aren't going to support trans lives either.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just the fact of, like, being woke, being your individual self-woke.
I say if you're really woke, you support any type of injustice. Any type of injustice.
And I agree. And that's how we are, I feel, for the most part. That's what we talk about.
What I feel is, you know, the reason why there's so much pushback when white people try to engage into black controversies is because a lot of the times when white people do this, it's just a trendy thing. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just
a saving face thing.
Okay, but what do you do for what do you say to the people who it's not just a trend for them, like they're actually legitimately on the battle lines for your community and are like,
I feel like those people who are really like that are commended for their services. They're commended for their services.
Someone like Bernie Sanders, who's been fighting civil rights on the front line for 50
so many
years.
black people want to vote for Bernie Sanders, especially the millennials. Mm-hmm. You know, any of the HBCUs out there could not have existed without white support. You know what I mean? Civil rights movement had tons of white people up there, you know, trying to push us up. Mm-hmm. So it is commended. It's just don't show up right when it's trendy and when it's fun. Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah, be there all the way through.
That's definitely a fair point.
I almost think that might be a generational thing. Like, when I was younger, I was stuck in a bubble, dude. I had no idea what the fuck was going on with the black community. I was stuck in a bubble. Like, of course, you know, I come from a family. My dad is Filipino. My mom is Mexican. Mm-hmm. Race was never an issue really in my family.
And you just didn't know about it.
Well, maybe that was a thing too. But even I could be wrong. I don't. You know, I'm just saying this is what I feel. This is what I grew up in. Mm-hmm. So when I came out here to LA, I did get a lot more woke. You know what I mean? I started being more aware of like things like the Black Lives Matter movement and what all these social injustices that are happening, particularly with black people. Okay. I started getting woke to that. Well, I can't sit there and apologize for something that was like me not being woke to the idea because I was younger. I just wasn't educated. I can just tell you that this is what I'm learning now, and I want to learn more, and I want to get more woke, and I want to fight for the right thing.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll be there full-heartedly. You know.
Oh, girl, trust me, I'm there.
Well, right.
100%, I'm there.
And that's all that really should matter. Like if you yourself, I feel like you're not feeling any pushback online or anything about this.
I'm not feeling
like you're not feeling you yourself. You're not feeling any pushback online about this. I feel like you're
personally, no, but I've seen it.
Speaking up for
other, absolutely,
cool.
absolutely.
Well, I haven't even gotten. I haven't even gotten anything from
I will tell you one thing.
But that is something I will say that might be. I hate defending white people on this show. Trust me, I hate defending white people in any way. But But I do understand how that could be something
I don't
that's
know,
frustrating
like,
if you start to change your mind. I know that
we
it's
can
not.
kind of tell. I'm gonna be honest. Like I've talked to people, and I can tell. Like I've talked to a white person, and I can tell if they, you know, they fuck with us. They know us.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I was gonna say,
Like
if
even
you're
with
genuine,
you, I was like, oh, I can tell. Like he's woke.
but that's
like,
what I'm saying. If you're
you know,
genuine,
like,
it's gonna come across.
and that's the thing. I
it's when
think
it's
the
not.
pushback comes when it's not.
Right, and that's fair too. But
I
everyone
never
has
really-
to have a point where they wake up. So there might be people that might like going back to Get Out. This is a high extreme situation, and some of their stuff is stupid and ignorant. It was funny to watch how white people talk to black people. But if that's their way of slowly learning or integrating, you know, how
But
do
it's
we?
not.
No,
It's
but not always. Not always. It's some of it's not.
Not
but-
never. That's not a way of you getting. That's you having a preconceived notion of what I like, how
Okay.
I am, and how I'm going to be. That's not getting to know how I am. If you walk up to me
Authentically.
and you say, "Hey, you know, I really love Beyonce," or "I really love, I really love Future."
That's
I don't
like
listen to
when
fucking
our
Future.
that's like when our
Okay,
manager
totally.
would come
I-
up to Vanessa when
and
she
the
would
gay
come up to-
stuff.
and talk about drag queens or Will and Grace or like just to sound relatable.
But the
Because
only
they
way they
already
can
know.
get to know you is to ask questions and get to know
Yeah.
you.
But here's the thing.
You know what I'm
let me
saying?
ask
Like,
you.
Why doesn't any other race feel that way? Why don't
What is
Puerto
it?
Ricans feel that way? Why don't Asians feel that way? Why don't Asians?
Well,
get the
because
same pushback that
because
Africans
Asians
get?
and Latinos and everybody else, they're not responsible for the hundreds of years of the oppression that white people
You know
put
what?
on
You
black
know what?
people. They're not
People-
No, that's why.
Listen,
I'm just
no,
saying.
you
It's
know what?
partly true.
I hate that. I hate that narrative because there are people in Africa and African families who haven't experienced that, who come here and get the same type of treatment around the world.
No,
So-
oh yes, I
from
agree
my-
with that. Yes,
So that
white
is
people.
not a valid.
Child, I
valid
thought I
argument.
was gonna be disagreeing with you, child. I haven't disagreed with you with anything yet. Okay,
More
go
about the
ahead.
surprises. So
I'm
that is not the same
surprised.
narrative that they all feel.
Yeah.
So
Well, what would you recommend?
We're
I'm
just trying to
playing
find out
devil's
what-
advocate because I know it's fun.
listen,
I know.
there's
Trust
no
me.
recommendations. It's just be
Be a
yourself.
normal, authentic,
Be
real
you.
person.
If you are white, you like Taylor Swift or what, just say that. You don't have to pander and try to. I'm gonna connect with
But
them.
what if it's a white person that genuinely loves Beyonce? What are they
They
supposed to do?
Then we'll
You'll
see
know.
it. You'll
You'll
know.
know.
You'll know.
Because
You
you'll be
love
naming
Beyonce.
songs.
Exactly.
And you'll be,
I really like
you'll
the
connect,
form.
yeah, you'll know.
You'll know.
It won't be like, oh, a single lady. You know what I'm saying? You'll be like, oh yeah, I've been
You
rocking
know.
with her since fucking,
You know,
riding
she's-
on the wall.
Exactly.
Or
You'll
like
know.
you'll be like,
Yeah.
you'll know.
That's
It's
the
the
difference.
way.
And it comes
Yeah.
out naturally versus
It'll come out
versus
and
just-
you'll know.
You know,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you're a white person who loves Britney Spears and Taylor Swift, all that, come to a black person and be like, you know what, I've never heard Beyonce's album, but Taylor Swift, we will respect that more than you saying, I really like Beyonce, she came out with a Freakum dress. I was like, what?
What are you talking about? Yeah.
So just be you. Don't try to pander to us and try to make us believe that you're down, because no one even says down anymore. And you can't, just be you. That's the problem. The white people who experience that type of pushback are the white people who want to jump on because they want to be our friends. They want to act like they're a part of our community.
Be
We
your
are a
friend when
diverse-
it's convenient. That's the problem.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. We are a diverse community of people.
Well,
proud people.
if I don't like you, I don't like you, and I will not be
Okay.
friends with you. So it has nothing to do with what color you
I was
are.
gonna
though.
say.
Like, that's
be
where I
real.
stand on that. But
Just be real.
my argument is particularly for white people because I always think about that. It's like. And I have heard, oh my
Well,
God.
that's the answer.
My dad, in that movie, oh my God, my dad would have voted for Obama for a third term. if
No,
he
but
could. That's so fucking ignorant. Even somebody who's not black can see that.
Well,
for
that's
what it
the
is.
answer.
And I can see that too as a white person, and I know it's ridiculous, and to talk to people like
Because
that.
you're a person
The
who's
only
authentic.
the only thing I'm saying is it's hard sometimes to break out. I don't want to. I hate if it comes across as though I'm defending white people and the racism, but I'm just trying to talk to people that maybe. Because I have a lot of, maybe more conservative, whitewashed
First
people
of all,
that don't even know how
it's
to
not-
act
it's not
around.
even defending white people. You know the white struggle. You know the white story. You're not defending them. You're just speaking what you know.
Okay, so I'm just looking at it for people that maybe are not as woke, that haven't had my experience of being a gay man and have, a diverse group of people in my life always. There's people that are maybe, to their core, maybe a good Christian white woman, and they want to maybe speak out, but they don't know how without doing it in a way that seems pandering or that I'm just waking up right now and jumping on the bandwagon.
Okay.
So how would someone like that maybe bridge the gap a little easier? Or, you know, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just
like, what do they do?
why
What
do
steps do
you say?
they
I get what you're
take?
saying.
Know that the guilt isn't coming from you, it's coming from hundreds of years before your ancestors have brought this upon you. So it's not just you feeling it. You gotta understand that it's everyone it's going through the same things. Yeah, the African community went through that, but at the same time, at the same token, we all were growing up without it even being talked about, without like all of us having to be a discussion. It's like all this time without therapy when we this was just 100 years ago that this was happening, you know. So it's just about making it. It's just about making it. It was just about making it
still segregation.
It's
Like,
just about making a conversation and really, like you said, not being about it being a trend. It's just you being a decent human being and knowing like this doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to look at each other like, oh, that's this person's, that's their culture, that's their stereotype. It's just like we're all one human race, and it'd be nice if we just all come together and support each other's cause.
Very well said, Jeb. Very well said. And also, if you're a white person who wants to be a part of the cause, just be a part of the cause. Be a part of the cause in your own town. Speak to your friends, speak to your family about it. Start with yourself and with your friends and your family. That's how you really make a difference. Because it's one thing to sit there and say, I support Black Lives Matter. But it's
on your Instagram,
but it's another thing to talk to your Uncle Joe who says racist comments every Thanksgiving. And you just
sit there.
You just ignore it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When somebody says a fucking racist comment, I will call them the fuck out so fucking quick, and I don't.
We need to speak to the people out
That's
there.
what I'm just trying. I'm trying to bridge gaps. You know, I'm just trying to help people understand. Like, just coming from where I came from. I came from a lot of racism. My dad was a redneck, racist trash. And I grew up living with that. And that made me look at the world not by, you know, you either grow up looking at it and taking that doctrine into your own life, or you look at it and you realize you're crazy and you're wrong and I don't want to be that kind of person. Yeah. And I took it became that kind of person. But not everyone can.
Yeah, there's people who go the other way.
Exactly.
But you know what? The best change you can be in your life is the change around others and around the people who are around you. Your dad may be racist. That's his decision, that's his choice. But it's another thing for him to see you and say, you know what? Well, my son is cool with these people. What may be wrong with me? And there has been people who have changed from that. And say, you know what, let me look at myself, because if my son, who I raised to be, you know, whatever, can look at people and see them for who they really are, then maybe there's something wrong with me, maybe I can change a little bit. That's where it starts.
Baby steps within your own.
And that's how you really can help. That's how you really can help white people. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I honestly don't think it's that difficult. It's just a matter of, like, even for example, where Adele was saying the way you make my black friends feel.
Yes.
What she should have said was, the way you make my black friends feel make me want to do more.
But that was
make
in the
me
moment.
want to. Yeah, and it was
in the moment.
I don't feel any type of way about what she said, because I know she was speaking from the heart. But what I'm saying is just the fact that you see someone, an injustice happening, not necessarily to a black friend, but just to a friend. So when you look at as a friend that happens to be black, makes you want to fight back. And coming from that place is enough, you know? And doing something about it is enough, you know? It doesn't have to be this whole, like, calculated.
It doesn't.
You don't have to overcompensate.
It can be correcting someone in a grocery store line that you hear something. It doesn't have to be a post on your Facebook. It doesn't have to be
something ignorant.
Exactly.
That's where it starts. That's where it finishes.
It doesn't have to be this grandiose thing. It just, you know, just recognizing and realizing and taking action.
You heard it here. Take action is the best thing you could do. We want to thank y'all for joining us. We want to thank Danique for coming up and speaking up and really just being here and honestly educating us as well. I feel like we all learned something.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys. So be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Let us know your thoughts on this situation. We appreciate the feedback. Have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Fetishism.
Fetishism. Okay.
No, you did good.
Is that right?
Yeah.
No, you did.
Next time.
Fetishizations.
Fetishizing.
That's not a
It is
word.
a word.
It is.
It is?
Especially on this bed. It's been a training for all of us to like start trying
I'm
to
like,
improve our posture and sit up straight for an hour or two.
And
Oh my
then
God,
roll your
let's
shoulders
please
back.
get this done. I'm
Alright, it's
dying
rolling,
right
bro.
now.
We're rolling.
Okay.
We're rolling.